So I have been going to church camps for almost 25 years. That means when I was 4 years old, I went to church camp for the very first time. During that time, my parents were serving at the church. They were bringing kids to church camps, children's church camp, and truly just making a difference in the community as well. I asked my parents if they had a picture of me at that age, and this is what they gave me. I was a young kid. I wasn't 4 years old here, but I was a young kid going to church camp, just trying to seek God's face because that's all I really knew. And when I was younger, I used to love going to church camp because we used to go to a church camp in Kokomo, part of Christian Heritage in Kokomo, Indiana. And I loved going to church camp there because a lot of our youth group that we didn't have very many kids in the youth group, but we got together with the church camp in Kokomo, and it felt like it was one big youth group year after year. And getting connected with people that lived in different cities, different states, honestly, it really just felt like we were all coming together every single year, and it was a one big family reunion. The issue that I saw every year, though, and even now as a student pastor, I hear the same thing. I wish I could go back because students are on fire for God for 5 days straight, but then 5 weeks later, they end up losing that fire that they once had while they were at church camp. So after my years of being a part of student ministry, I think I figured out 5 habits that can actually help create every day to feel like church camp in our everyday lives. And so I want to break these down to you, and I hope this will help for somebody. So the number one thing that you got to do when it comes to creating new habits to make every day feel like church camp is you have to eliminate distractions. You have to eliminate distractions. There's so many distractions in our world, right? If you just walk outside or if you get on your phone, there's so many distractions. And every single one of us have different distractions that are all around us. But when you go to church camp, students experience something that they don't sometimes get at home, and that's a clear no. You can't take that. And so when you eliminate distractions, you get challenged to put away your phones. You get challenged to put away technology, video games, TV, vices like vaping, even bad relationships. Some of these people just need to get away from these bad relationships that they're in because it's a distraction for them. And I think personally, most of our problems simply come from our distractions, right? It's like over and over, we keep going back to these distractions when we know we don't need them, but they keep distracting us from what God has for us. So if we intentionally create patterns of eliminating distractions, I believe you can focus on the things that are important and what God has placed in front of you. Quit worrying about the distractions in your life. Every single year, students go to church camp and they're eliminating distractions for a week. Well, all of a sudden, that clears up to hear the voice of God in our life. I don't think most people aren't aware of the voice of God. I think most people are just simply distracted from the voice of God. So if we would eliminate our distractions, how much better could you hear the voice of God? So that's number one. Eliminate your distractions. And number two, every single year, the very first day of camp, people go over the rules, right? Hey, you can't do this. You can't do that. Hey, make sure you stay away from here. Make sure you don't do this. Hey, make sure you ask a leader if you want to go do that. It's so important that you don't just eliminate distractions in your everyday life, but also number two, you set boundaries. Boundaries are blessings. Guys, I don't know who's listening to this, but can I tell you, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to see everything. You don't need to hear everything. You don't need to be a part of everything. Because here's the thing. When we don't create boundaries, I believe it creates anxiety and opportunities to get outside of the calling that God has for you right in front of you. We're so focused on everything else that we actually miss what's in front of us right now. So here's the thing. If you want to walk in the will of God and you want to make every day feel like church camp, you got to eliminate the distractions in your life, which you are aware of, and you got to set boundaries in your life because boundaries are blessings if you understand what boundaries are really there for. So those are the first two things you got to do. And the thing about church camp is we all understand this. every morning and every night, there's a worship experience to encounter God, right? But when we get home, we don't do that. We don't create healthy habits of spiritual routines in the morning and at nighttime. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth just to read a chapter from the Bible, or even listen to the word, or even listen to worship throughout the day. But number 3, not only do you got to eliminate distractions, not only do you got to create boundaries, but number 3, you have to create spiritual habits in the morning and at nighttime. Morning and at nighttime. It's such a simple habit to get into, but if it were easy, then everyone would do it. But unfortunately, not everyone does. I believe this takes discipline, intentionality, and a desire to hear from God. So create spiritual habits by starting small, but faith in a big God. I believe God wants to speak to you right now. But if you don't eliminate the distractions and create boundaries to actually allow spiritual habits to come into your life in the morning and at nighttime, I think you're going to miss what God has in front of you right now. So create those things, create those rhythms in your life so that you can experience the joy and the peace that is happening at camp also in your everyday life. Number 4, you got to be a part of a community. I didn't say you have to have a community. I said you have to be a part of a community. It's a difference whenever someone's in a community when they're just taking from the community. But if you're a part of the community, you're not just taking, but you're giving to the community, right? I remember when I was a kid, I would go to church camp every single year, and it seems like everybody always finds their people at a church camp, right? The people that are kind of struggling in certain things in life, certain family dynamics, they typically find those people. Thankfully, growing up for me, I had a great family dynamic, and so I ended up finding people at church camp that were just ready to, go and experience God when it came to our church services. And so the community I started finding when I was at church camp is, I remember the group of guys that we were a part of, we would show up early to the services at nighttime and we would pray for the services. We would stay late for the services so we can experience God and pray for other people as well. I was a part of a community, not just receiving the community at church camp. I was praying with them, not just getting prayed for. I was also taking charge with the guys, not just waiting for someone else to lead me. I wanted to be a part of a community. And so many people look at life as saying, I just need people to give me something, but you're never giving anything back to other people, right? So I believe it's powerful to be around people that have the same goal as you. And if you have a desire to grow closer to God, you got to be a part of a community. If you want to make a difference in your city, you have to be a part of community. And if you want God to transform your life, you have to be a part of community. Because when you get down and start to struggle, community will be there to pick you up and help you keep going every single time. It's so important that we're part of a community. And the very last thing, and I think this is really important as well, when it comes to church camp, the people that have the most enjoyable time are not the people that wait for circumstances, environments to change, but it's the people that go into the mindset saying, I'm going to be the fun. You can't just be having fun. You got to be the fun. So number 5, you got to be fun. It's not about having fun, but being fun. Anyone can go into any environment and have fun. But when you have a mindset to be fun, it will change your entire perspective on life. You can go into any environment, any work experience, any family dynamic, and you can say, you know what? I understand the things that are going on around me, but I'm not bothered by it because I have the joy of the Lord inside of me, and I know the mission that's in front of me. So when people are around me, they're going to experience the fun that I feel because of what Jesus has done in my life. You see what I'm saying? So it's so important not to just have fun, but be fun. And so here's the thing. Year after year, we hear the same thing. We hear people say, I wish I could go back to church camp. But I challenge you now. Don't just wait till church camp to experience these things. Put these 5 habits into your life so you can experience church camp, aka the presence of God, every area of your life. And I believe personally, if you put these 5 practices into your everyday life, you can truly experience the presence of God anywhere that you are, any day. Doesn't matter. You don't have to wait for church camp to experience this. As one of our students said this year, it's just a camp. It's just a camp. That's all it is. The powerful part about it is the presence of God. So create these 5 habits in your life. I truly believe it can change your life. Don't let another year go by waiting for church camp, but let every day feel like church camp.